Alrighty, we have Mr. George Igoe
Hello.
in the house.
Yes, Igoe. Yes,
Igoe.
you got it right.
That's what's up.
No one ever gets it right.
It's only because I did my homework.
Oh, yeah, you did.
What do you call it? So, did you start doing YouTube first, like before the show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I just
so
started with YouTube.
what inspired you to like do YouTube?
Well, I worked in TV for like 10 years. Worked in TV writing
Okay.
for like 10
cool.
years.
Like what type of TV?
Comedy. Worked in like TV writers' rooms for many years.
What's a TV writer's room?
What is it?
Yeah, I have no clue.
It's so, well, you get all the writers, maybe
Okay.
7, 8 people.
Mm-hmm.
They sit in a room and they write the scripts for the shows.
For a show?
Yeah, for,
Okay.
and they all write it together. It's a very collaborative process.
Oh, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's challenging.
What's the process like for that? So is there like a head like guy or girl who like has like the structure of the show and then everyone else pitches in, or?
Yeah, the showrunner, it's a monarchy. The
Okay.
showrunner is in charge.
Okay.
And what they say goes, and everyone pitches story ideas,
Okay.
but the showrunner is the one who decides what goes and what they pursue and is ultimately the decision maker.
Nice. How did you get into it? Like one day were you like, I want to be on a comedy show and write for these shows? Like,
Basically, that's I moved to LA with
Okay.
the goal of writing for TV.
oh, no way.
And,
Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey originally. And
I've been to Newark. Newark? A few times.
yeah, lovely place. Yeah.
The airport's super small.
Yeah, it's the airport's a madhouse.
Yeah. So you started there.
Yeah, so I just started as the production assistant, and
Okay.
I kind of worked my way up and
Sweet.
became.
And you got into this writer's room, and do you still do that now?
I do not. No.
Okay. Why did you stop?
It's a very challenging work environment.
Okay.
It's great because on one hand you're around some of the funniest people you've ever met in your life.
Yeah.
And you're laughing all day.
Yeah.
But it's also very. Very competitive, can be very political.
I feel like it's like most big industry in LA, don't you think?
It's not specific to TV by any means, of
Sure.
course, but often a lot of toxic work environments sometimes,
Sure.
in my experience.
Nice.
And
not nice, but yeah, I get it.
yeah. And so at a certain point, I'm just like, I'm not really into this anymore.
Okay.
And
So is that when you were thought of YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was because I was traveling on my own, and it just sort of made sense to eventually kind of marry the TV storytelling aspect of my career and
Yeah.
the
When did
travel.
you? So when did you start?
Started in 2016.
2016.
Is when I uploaded my first videos.
Okay, so that's been 6 years now.
Yeah.
And did you start with this idea of George Goes Everywhere?
No, that came later. The very first idea I had was a show called Rich Travel, Poor Travel.
Rich Travel, Poor Travel. Okay, what's the concept behind that?
So I'm a frequent flyer miles expert.
Okay.
And so I've flown all over the world in first class for free.
Oh, no way.
And so,
Can you? Oh, okay, pause.
yeah.
Can you explain that? How you did that? Because I think are you talking about like credit card points?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And like using those points to travel.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm decent at that, but I don't think I've got to the point where you've traveled first class all the time with like frequent flyer miles. So like, give me the rundown.
It's a real rabbit hole you can fall down.
Sure.
And I fell down it hard.
Yeah.
And you get it through credit card signups. You
And usually credit cards have like a bonus.
have a
correct?
bonus, exactly.
Of like $500 when you sign up with this card. You have to spend a certain amount in 3 or 4 months. Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And or more. I'm more interested in the ones that give you 50,000.
Points.
Say United miles or,
Okay.
or points or whatever for spending, say, $3,000 in 3 months.
Sure.
And if you do that, you kind of get credit cards.
Do you have a lot of credit cards?
I have maybe like 6.
Oh, it's not bad.
It's not terrible.
I thought it was going to be like 15.
Oh, I have friends with 25.
Sure.
It's insane. But you can do it sustainably without hurting your credit. My credit score has actually gone up since I started doing this.
Yeah.
If you do it, if you're organized.
Yeah, and you pay everything off on time.
You pay everything off on time, and you kind of keep track of things.
Yeah.
You can unlock some amazing potential.
Sure. So how did this Rich Travel, Poor Travel like get started? Like, what did you think? What's the concept behind it?
It's I fly somewhere in first class like a rich man. Then once I land, I have to explore the city on a budget like a poor man.
Okay.
And so it's like the first half is living in luxury. The second half is...
Is it mostly in the United States?
No, I did 3 episodes in Tokyo, Dubai, and Copenhagen.
Oh, no way.
And so I circled the globe in like 10 days shooting those.
So is it just you and your camera?
That was, yeah, just
Okay.
me and a camera, a vlog. I had no idea what I was doing.
And these were the beginnings of your YouTube channel?
Yes, they're the very first videos I uploaded.
Okay. So, question.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are like, I want to start a YouTube channel. There's a lot of people who are, yeah, I'm going to do that someday. Or I'm going to record myself in front. And some people never get to do that or never end up doing it. And they're so scared of just like being in public with a camera in their face and talking to it. So did you go through that?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you like overcome that fear, or like did you just get started?
I to this day, I have not overcome that fear. Talking to a camera in public is one of the most embarrassing things that you can
Why
do.
is it embarrassing though?
Because everyone looks at you and you look like just an idiot, and you feel like an idiot. And I'm talking loud because I'm trying to project, and I'm talking quickly because it's for the internet, and you just get looks, and people roll their eyes, and it's. But I mean, that's the job. I mean, you just gotta suck it up.
It's weird though, because like I guess you feel those judgments, or you experience that still fear of doing it, but then there's people watching these videos, like a lot of people, like some people, like thousands of people will be watching these videos, but they're also maybe the same people who are like, oh, there's that dude just pointing a camera at himself.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of ironic, isn't it?
It is kind of funny. It's like, yeah, you're watching this.
Because YouTube's the new TV now.
It is.
It is. The views on there are, I would say, way more than modern day TV.
It's an immense platform, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So where's out of those 3 places, what was it, Tokyo?
Tokyo, Dubai, and Copenhagen.
Tokyo, Dubai, and Copenhagen. I'm assuming you flew free for all of them based on points.
Yes.
And which is the one that you enjoyed the most out of that 10-day trip?
Probably Tokyo. I mean, I had been before.
I've never been to any of these places.
Okay.
So why Tokyo?
Tokyo is just, it's intoxicating.
Yeah.
It's city on top of city. It is just so dense, and every building is like its own neighborhood. There's a nail salon, then a nightclub, and then, a restaurant in the same building. And it's just, there's just an energy to it. It's just kind of unlike any place I've ever been.
So when you go to these places, is there a language barrier?
I mean, yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
so how do you cope with that?
I mean,
because you're not a small guy. How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
Yeah, you're a tall white male.
I stand out. I stand out in some places. I'll admit.
These places, and in my opinion, I'll be like, for me, I'm like a lot smaller than you. I could probably fit in, and I still think I wouldn't be able to like get around. Like, how do you get around?
Well, I mean, look, in a way, it's a good thing because I stand out so much that people see me coming, kind of, and adapt to that. For example, I went into I was in Beijing, and I went into a restaurant. And I walk in, and the lady behind the counter takes one look at me, and she reaches under the counter and pulls out a picture menu. So I could just point to what I wanted.
No way.
And it's like, okay, we didn't need to say a word. She saw me coming a mile away. She knew, oh, this guy. Okay, here's a picture menu.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess it has its benefits.
I mean, you point, you say what you can. You get translate apps as you can. I used to take screenshots of my hotel always so that I could show cab drivers.
Yeah.
So
where it's at. Okay.
Just like, I'm going here.
Here. And
I could just hold up my phone, and they would look and they would take me there. That's a little trick I've used. But
cool. What do you call
figure it out?
For the, I guess these first videos, was the goal to like show to people that you can travel cheaply? Or was it just for your own experience?
It was kind of probably more for my own experience.
Okay. And like kind of documenting it? Yeah,
it was a proof of concept. Around that time, I had tried pitching this show as like in the kind of traditional
Rich, travel,
rich
poor?
travel, poor travel.
Okay, rich, travel, poor travel.
I tried kind of pitching it properly to production companies and stuff like that.
How does one pitch a show?
I mean, you put together like a binder,
Okay.
mapping out a sample episode, a sample season, kind of putting your biography in there, just kind of as much info about what you're thinking as you can.
Sure.
And just didn't really get anywhere doing that. And so at a certain point, I just said, like, screw it. I like this idea.
You're going to do it.
I'm going to do it. I want to do it. And, so I just bought a camera and I did it.
Cool. How did you learn? Did you learn editing all on your own? Did you learn how to use the camera all on your own?
But yeah.
So is it just YouTube? Did you teach yourself that way?
Dove in. I mean, I'd edited back in high school, but it had been, many years since I'd edited. But, you figure it out.
If you want to do it, I feel like you're gonna do it somehow. You learn by doing.
You learn by doing. I mean, no one's born knowing how to edit. I hear that all the time. Be like, oh, I want to do that. I don't know how to edit though. It's like
people say that all the time. Yeah.
Like no one's born knowing how to edit. So
no one's born knowing how to do anything. Really.
Yeah. So learn. You'll figure it out. It's fine.
Yeah. What do you call it? So you start this show, Rich Travel, Poor Travel, and then did you YouTube about anything else before this traveling under $100 show?
Yeah, I did for a few years. Just
what did you do?
Made probably over 100 YouTube videos, non-travel, some travel, but a lot of non-travel.
What were those about?
I think my most popular video on my YouTube channel is one where I try to figure out why I'm always mistaken for an employee at Bed Bath & Beyond.
I saw that. I didn't watch it. I saw it. So what's that video about?
But it's a true thing.
Okay.
I am often mistaken for an employee there.
Okay. And you don't have a uniform, or
I don't have a uniform. My working theory is that because I'm tall and they have those really high shelves there, people see me next to them and assume that I'm there like stocking the shelves.
How often are you at Bed Bath & Beyond though?
An appropriate amount.
Okay.
A normal amount, not an excessive amount.
So
very normal amount.
So a decent. So for that to happen, the few times that you're at Bed Bath & Beyond, people have considered you an employee.
Like, over the course of, like 5 years, like I noticed it. I'm like, this is strange. And so I went to 10 Bed Bath & Beyonds around the LA area. I put on hidden camera glasses to document the experience.
Those exist?
Oh, yeah. They're a piece of crap, but they're, you put them on, they have a little camera there. The quality is awful, but they were like $20.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it worked for my purposes.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So, are these all videos just like based on your own curiosities? Like,
yeah, just whatever I could think of. I was trying to upload one a week.
Did you do that for like 100 videos?
Yeah, for a while, for a few years there, I did.
Nice. Did you end up getting like monetized through like commercial stuff? Obviously, it's hard.
I did qualify for monetization. I mean, to this day, my channel's small. I get like $3 a month, and that was, I don't even. Most of my videos are not even monetized. I turn off the commercials because I want eyeballs more than
you want views more than like a few dollars.
Than a few dollars. I don't care about. That.
So you started this show called George Travels Everywhere.
George Goes Everywhere.
George Goes Everywhere, and you've been to a lot of places. I mean, it's the funniest one I saw. George was breakdancing in New York.
Yes.
And I was like, for anything, if it like, I could just appreciate that. One, you're experiencing a lot of culture because I see you going to these different restaurants. Two, you get to experience cities. Three, you learn stuff because like, I don't know, where's where you were fighting with foam swords and stuff like that?
Oh, that was in Nashville.
That was in Nashville. And I was like, yo, this is super cool. And if for anything, it's for your own experience, right? But you also had a company hire you to do the show as well?
Yes, this was a company called millionstories.com, their website.
Nice.
And I was referred, an old coworker of mine actually referred them to me.
Nice.
And he was a writer at a show I was a writer at, and they asked him, they're like, hey, do you know any younger type guy who makes videos? And he's like, as a matter of fact, I do. I used to work with this guy who's now making YouTube videos. And so I had a call with them, and they're like, yeah, we want to make like a show showing how to travel on a budget. And I said, well, I have good news for you. I already made that show. Yeah. And it's on my YouTube channel, so go check it out.
Did they like it?
Yeah, they
loved it.
It's what got me the job.
Yeah,
is,
that show.
That show.
It's crazy because, so I don't know from the show itself. Is that all in one day?
It's not shot in one day. It's presented as one day.
It's presented as one day.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's so cool how much stuff you fit in under $100.
Yeah.
Like usually I think of $100 as like maybe one museum and a dinner, and that's like pushing it. And you're having like full days on these shows that are actually a lot of them are less than $100.
Yeah, we come under a lot of times.
Yeah. What's the coolest city you've been to that you enjoyed?
I mean, I'm from the New York area, so I'm of course biased towards New York, but I think Milwaukee was surprisingly fun.
Yeah.
Not that I thought it wouldn't be fun, but it's a smaller city.
I watched the episode. What did you do there again?
I went to the Cheesehead factory where they make the foam hats that they wear at Packers games.
Yes.
Went to the Harley Davidson Museum.
Okay, that was super cool. That was super cool because there's a lot of history too that you've learned from these places. There's a lot of history in different states that have influences on, I guess, the entire world.
Yeah.
Continue.
What else did I know? I played Hammerschlagen. Where you
hammer
the nail into the stump of wood.
So I didn't get how that game works. I've heard it plenty of times. So how does that game work?
I think you take turns, and you just have to hit the nail, and whoever gets the nail all the way in first wins.
Okay.
There's not a hell of a lot to it, really.
Is it different nails?
Well, yeah, we have different nails.
Okay.
You would buy nails from the bar.
Yeah.
And they had this stump there.
Nice.
And I just played with. There was a couple on their like second date maybe, and they were sitting near us, and we're like, "Hey, you want to be on our show?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, okay."
Cool.
And so I just played with this couple.
Nice. So what's the biggest thing that you love about traveling? Because like obviously to do this show, you have to, or to do basically your whole YouTube channel lately has been just traveling. So like, what do you love most about traveling?
I mean, it's the adventures you get into. It's the things you can't plan, the things that just sort of happen to you when you just sort of go into a place with an open mind.
Sure.
And I do plan things. I'm a big proponent of researching places before you go. And
I feel like the planning part's important especially for the budget, correct?
for sure. And and we are there. We're there to work. I mean, it is a job that we're being paid to do. So we have to plan ahead, and we have to get permission from all these places that we go to. So I mean, you can't fly by the seat of your pants as much when you're working as you can in your personal life. But
that's so funny because when you have these shows, it looks like you're flying by the seat of your pants.
I mean,
you portrayed it.
That's the
well.
goal. I mean, you try to make it seem as much as spontaneous as you can. But there are logistical aspects that we have to handle.
So do you have a team that goes with you for that now?
I have one field producer.
Okay.
So it's just the two of us.
Sweet.
And she's has to get contacts the places beforehand, gets releases, and sort of is just general support.
Nice.
Cameraman when I need one.
Yeah, I feel like you do it pretty well just all by yourself.
I try to do it. I try to make it seem like there's no one else. It's just a dude with a camera.
Yeah.
And anyone could do this.
Yeah.
I just happen to have a camera on me.
I feel like the show just shows people that you can travel. Like, because a huge excuse for people is like, I can't travel because it's too expensive. And I guess from your answer right there, you know how to credit card turn, use some points.
Well, yeah, I mean,
to fly around, and you got $100, you're good to go.
You can pull off some stuff if you open your mind a little bit. Do a little more research than you might usually.
What
do.
else did you learn? Because I feel like obviously you learned from New York a couple breakdancing moves. I saw that you learned some stuff from what's the exact term for the foam sword fighting?
Oh, it was, what was it? That might be like a brand. It was Ddp or something. I don't know if that's a broad term or just their term.
Okay, you learned the rules of that game. You learned how to play Hammerschlagen. Like, what's the coolest thing that you've learned and done?
I mean,
because it seems like it's countless.
I mean, you already mentioned it. The breakdancing was
it was
one
cool.
of my favorite. I loved it. And the guy who was doing that was super cool, and he was super on board. I emailed him about it, and he responded like 20 minutes later. He's like, "I'm in. I'm so in," and he was cool being on camera and just it's just it was in a basement in Brooklyn, just
Yeah.
this breakdancing studio, and
Cool.
it was just it was a lot of fun.
Nice. So do you have any more goals for I guess like shows? Because like maybe this show goes on forever and you keep getting re-signed for it, but what else, what other future plans do you have for, I guess, YouTube? Or I'm assuming that you have a lot of creative ideas for like shows.
I mean, yeah, I have ideas for other travel shows that I'm hoping to get off the ground. Right now, I'm hoping George Goes Everywhere keeps on rolling, because they've been great to work with, and they give me great creative freedom.
It's very entertaining too, dude. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that's the goal, just to stick with this, keep growing it right now.
I mean, yeah, right now that's the immediate. But I have other ideas I'm hoping to get off the ground. Hopefully, get international.
Yeah.
The pandemic has screwed things up pretty royally
How
for
so?
someone who wants to travel.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's coming
a little
out.
part?
Yeah, yeah.
So what did you do during pandemic while you were stuck at home?
I mean, you do your best to keep busy. I mean,
Saw you grow a beard out.
I did. I grew the quarantine beard,
Yeah.
as so many did. It's not a good look for me, but I did it. Try to keep busy. Pandemic's it was a challenging time for all of us.
Yeah. Well, I saw that you did Ddp Yoga.
Yeah, yeah.
How was that? I've heard a lot of good things about it.
I love it. It's I do F45 now.
Can you explain to everybody what Ddp Yoga is?
It is it's yoga, but DDP is Diamond Dallas Page. He's a former professional wrestler.
Yes.
And after he retired from wrestling, he developed his own yoga program.
Yeah.
And it's more on the physical. There puts push-ups
It's not
into
really
it.
yoga. It's a workout, basically.
It's a workout, but it's a lot of stretching. And I've done ordinary yoga as well. It's yoga. It's more about branding. It's about branding yoga to a demographic that might otherwise not try yoga.
Yeah.
It's about making it a
The
little
biggest thing that I saw about Ddp Yoga, I think he was promoting this one guy who was like in a wheelchair, super fat.
Yeah.
And this guy just started doing it. Then he basically, at the end of it, he lost, I don't know, countless number of pounds and started walking again.
Yeah, Arthur.
Arthur. Is that his name?
That's his name.
Okay.
He's like one of their big ambassadors, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, that's cool. And so George works at F45. That's how we met. He lost 35 pounds.
But yeah, 35.
How has, I guess, like physical activity? Have you always worked out?
No.
Okay, so you've been working out since pandemic. Obviously, you did this DDP yoga at 45. How has working out changed your life, or how does it make you feel on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, the F45, it's around the corner from me, so I can walk to it, which
Sure.
is a huge
Yeah.
thing for me. I love being able to walk places. I got into it in January 2021. We were still in the pandemic before, the vaccine was still kind of getting rolled out. And I went there because I wanted to lose weight, because I put on some of that pandemic weight, the quarantine weight. But I also just wanted to get out of the house and have, social interaction. And F45 handled both of those wonderfully.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
at the beginning of F45, we were outside.
Yeah.
And it was
In
cold,
a mask.
in a mask, which scientifically doesn't make sense. And it's like the barbells were cold, like in the morning. Like
Yeah.
you came out and it looked, it was like nice equipment because it was a new gym, but it was basically like garage workouts type of deal. Like it felt like it. There was no nice screens that F45 is known for. We had our timers on our phone with this big speaker.
Right.
And yeah, George showed up every day.
Yeah, it was. I remember you had to cancel when it rained.
You had to cancel when it rained.
It was always dirty because it was open to the elements.
Yeah.
The neighbors hated it because of the music.
The neighbors hated it because of the music. We were blasting music at like 6:30 a.m. These apartment calls. I was like, I would hit you too.
Yeah.
I would hit us
Yeah,
too.
I get it.
So I met the social interaction and met the physicality. You lost some weight. Like, how do you feel on a day-to-day basis when you work out now? Because can you tell a difference about energy or anything?
Oh yeah, for sure.
How so?
And during the workouts, it's night and day. I used to be really dragging during
Oh, okay.
the workouts.
Nice.
Just in the lungs, not being able to catch my breath, and it still happens, but
Yeah, a lot easier.
a lot easier.
Do you have any, I guess, goals physically that you want to accomplish, or things you want to do? Like, I don't know. Like for me, example, like I want to land a backflip consistently.
Okay.
That's just like my personal like physical movement that I want to do. And I'm working on it slowly. It's not great. I landed it a few times.
Okay.
But I'm like far from consistent with it. Like I landed on my neck the other day. Like,
oh my God.
And it hurt. Like I'm very sore now for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of like physicality, like body weight or like looks or like activities, do you have any ambitions for that?
I mean, not really.
Sure.
I mean, that's probably not a great answer.
No, that's just your answer.
But I don't play sports. I'm not that athletic guy who is always out climbing mountains and doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just want to just be healthy and
live life.
Look better and getting older. The weight's not the
it's
metabolism is not what it used to be.
Not there. Yeah, it's basically diet.
Yeah.
The abs are made in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Is there any places that you haven't been that you want to travel to?
I mean, yeah, a ton. I mean, I want to go to like India.
India?
I want to go to.
Okay.
I want to go to a bunch of places in South America. I've been to Buenos Aires, but I want to go to like Brazil, maybe Chile.
How many places have you been to, if you could like count?
It's the country count is in like the mid-30s.
Okay. What about the city count?
Oh, I don't know. That's
country count's a lot. The 30 countries is a lot.
I mean, city count is probably
not city count, state count.
Oh, state count. I think state count's lower than country count, honestly.
Oh, really?
I think it's probably in the 20s.
Okay. Is a bucket list goal of yours to hit like all 50?
Not really.
Okay.
Not at this point. I don't know. Maybe the day will come. Right now, it's like
because I feel like George Goes Everywhere is mostly states.
It's all the U.S. so far.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, maybe he could hit all 50, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing.
I mean, that's not a bad idea, actually. Have to find a place in North and South Dakota. Those will be tricky episodes.
How does your research go? Like what's your process for researching like? Because obviously, say you go to New York, say you went to New Orleans, you went to all these cities, and you basically planned it out and hit these kind of cool landmarks. But obviously, it's not all the landmarks in the whole city or state because there's a lot.
Yeah, of course.
So what's your process?
Research is probably the most time-consuming part. I think if you think you've done enough research, do more. Like you cannot do too much research, I don't think.
Yeah. Is there a specific like website or Google thing that you use for people out there who are trying to travel?
Yeah, I mean, Atlas Obscura.
Atlas Obscura.
Obscura.
How do you spell that?
Atlas normally, and then
Atlas.
Obscura, Obscura.
Okay, Atlas Obscura.
Yeah, and that's a great kind of like aggregator of just sort of offbeat sort of locations. Beyond that, you just got to dig. I mean, Google, unique things in, whatever city in Nashville, or cheap things in Nashville. But like, go to the fourth page of results. Don't look the first, few items. Also, I read about the history of places.
Yeah,
and so
I feel like history gives like character.
It gives character and
story.
It gives you an angle to pursue. Like I get back to the breakdancing in New York. I was looking up New York, like things that come from New York, and it's like, breakdancing started there in the 80s. Then I Googled breakdancing in New York, if there's anything cool regarding that, and then I found the breakdancing studio that wasn't on any kind of Google list or those BuzzFeed articles that say top 10 cool things to do in New York.
Yeah,
it was just it's more circuitous. Is that the word?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know.
More roundabout. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
More roundabout than that. And just, I think just doing stuff like that can really help find cool things.
Okay. What about flights? Do you have any like tricks or like, for me, I heard like Google Flights is pretty good. Obviously, if you have points and stuff, you use through the like points tracker site for that certain card.
Yeah, I mean, Google Flights. I mean, that's just if you're paying it. I use that all the time, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. I feel like that's the cheapest.
Yeah, I mean, it gets everything. Southwest isn't usually on Google Flights though, so you got to go to Southwest separately.
Yeah. So how do you circle it around? Because what's that one episode that you found all the doors?
Atlanta.
That was a very good episode.
Okay. Cool.
And you circled the polar bear from the Coca-Cola factory to making an artistic piece to one of the doors.
Right.
And I was like, that's a story.
That is a story.
That is very artistic too. So like, do you brainstorm that too? Do you think about all that?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I hope like is one of the things that's unique about it, that it has like kind of that story that kind of comes back around at the end. And that's just because, I mean, I worked in TV writing for years. And so, I mean,
what do you love about stories? Because like, obviously, have you ever wanted to be an actor?
Not especially.
Okay.
No.
But like actors, I've had actors on the podcast and they talk about how they love telling stories. And that's why they're an actor. And I'm assuming like the show, you love telling stories.
Yeah. I love telling stories. I would say I love making people laugh more than telling stories. That's
okay.
the more.
Where did making people laugh come from? Were you like the class clown growing up?
I mean, I hope so. I like to think I was.
Sure.
Maybe other people disagree. But yeah, I mean, I was always that guy. I always wanted to be that guy.
Sure. Did you ever want to do like stand-up comedy?
I mean, I have done it.
Oh yeah? How'd that go?
It's I didn't love it. I mean, when you're on stage.
Did you do it out here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did it maybe 30 times probably, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things.
I mean, again, back to the thing with the YouTube. People are like, oh, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian, and I'm going to do it one day. Just doing it, it's an accomplishment, my friend.
Okay. I mean, I being on stage is great.
Uh-huh.
The 24 hours before being on stage, I would just get so anxious.
Like nervous?
And, yeah, real nervous.
Huh.
And that really kind of ruined it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you continue to do it? Would you either think about getting back into it?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's not necessarily where my head is at.
Sure.
Right now, though.
Yeah.
But
Because I feel like if you make people laugh through a lens, right? This camera, it's a lot more controllable.
It is.
Right? You can like,
That's what I like about it.
Here's my pitch line. I could put this story. I could put this clip here and there, and I could record it 1,000 times.
I can do multiple takes. And
yeah. But versus like stand-up comedy, it's like, boom, they're right there. If I fuck up, I fuck up.
It's very pure in that regard. It's you and a microphone and people just looking at you saying, hey, make me laugh.
That's one thing I love about comedy, because it's super pure and it's such a raw art form. Yeah. Versus like TV, all that stuff is great. Like I love watching a good comedy on TV, or I love watching, I don't know, like your YouTube channel. I was laughing from like the breakdancing or like whatever. And just the art form is super beautiful.
It's really funny though. Just like I would do the exact same set 2 days in a row, and one day it would kill, and the next day I would bomb so hard.
What's the difference that you think that you did between those 2 days?
I don't know.
Do you think there was a difference?
Not really. It was the same set. I mean, and I think it's just the crowd, the location. It's just there's something in the air that just makes things different. I don't know. As someone who's more well versed in stand up could probably explain it better than me. Yeah.
Do you think that the nervousness and the anxiety of like doing stand up comedy is like a sign that you should go back and keep doing it? Because like I'm reading this book right now. It's called Big Magic. It's the author of Eat, Pray, Love. Okay. And it's talking about like a creative lifestyle and how ideas come to each human, right? And they could either decide to take it, they go with it, or the idea goes on and it goes to someone else, and they grab it and they put their full energy into it, and they get that idea. And that happens a lot, because how many times people say like, "Oh, I had that idea. I was gonna do that. That's my idea." Her example is like a friend of hers wrote this book, and she basically was like, "Oh, what's your book about?" And this girl was talking about how she had this idea of a book too, but she never got into it. Well, her friend was like, "Oh, tell me about that." And it was the exact same idea with the exact same like kind of characters. There was obviously a little bit of difference in there, but it was like so odd. But it's like the same idea. Right. And I feel like that happens with like a ton of people in life. And I feel like if you feel that you are nervous about something and that you have an urge to do it, but you can't really get yourself to do it fully, it's a sign that you need to do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of merit to that. Yeah. Jeez, maybe I should try to get a set in tonight.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. The big, like, for podcasting, for personal training, for me doing it, for starting like this bitters company, like I just had an urge to do it, but I never really like. I was so nervous to do it. It took me a long time to like launch the first podcast. Or did it take a long time for you to put out your first YouTube video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like probably like 2 years.
Exactly.
Like, well, let me ask you, was it an idea that you kept coming back to? Like, because a lot of people have ideas and then it floats away and you never come back to it. But was it like something you couldn't get out of your head, something you couldn't shake?
I would say yes, because every idea that comes to my head, usually that I think is important, I write it down on this huge whiteboard that I have in my room. Okay. And I wake up and it says ideas and it's just right in front of me. And so it keeps staying in my head because every morning I wake up, I open my eyes, there's my alarm clock, and above it's my ideas. Okay. So they can't go away. They can't go away. All right. What about you?
I mean, I don't write them down. I don't have a whiteboard.
No, I know, but like, did it come back to you?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I know an idea is worth pursuing, is if it kind of does come back. Because if it floats away, maybe it wasn't that good of an idea to begin with. Because
or maybe it found someone else.
Maybe it found someone else. Yeah. I mean, I also think like
it's so weird because ideas. It's just like. It's so weird because they just come to someone's head. They pop in. I think most ideas are not good, though. I reject most ideas that I have, and that comes to script writing when I'm writing out these shows. Yeah, like 9 out of 10 aren't good enough, and so I just. Why would you say that? Maybe that I feel like a lot of bad ideas turn into good ideas sometimes. They might. Maybe I'm. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate. No, of course. Yeah. I think it was just, spending so many years in a TV writer's room, seeing the amount of content that they generated versus, how much they used. And it was the case for every idea that they pursued, 9 were thrown away and not used. Jokes. Yeah. Dozens upon dozens of jokes every episode were rewritten, were just, we can do better than that. Sure. And I think that just made me be harsh on myself. I feel like that's the difference between like big TV and YouTube though, because like, do you know who Casey Neistat is? Of course. One of the biggest YouTubers ever. Would you agree? Yeah. He tells a story through like a 3-minute, 4-minute vlog. He did daily vlogs before. Yeah. And honestly, it's basic stuff. It's like making breakfast, going on a run, skateboarding on New York, boom, done, end of story. And I watched the whole thing. Yes. Right? I don't think that's a great idea. He figured out how to tell a story properly. Right. Right? So that's my argument to like big TV versus like a YouTube channel, because I feel like anything can be entertaining if you actually like figure out how to tell it correctly. Yeah. Like TikTok has a ton of food. I'm not a good. I don't think I'm a good cook. I watch every single cooking video on Instagram. Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, Casey and he kind of cracked the code, didn't he? Figured out how to make his daily life compelling to watch. I feel like that's one thing that I started with the podcast too. I think you could learn something from anybody. And I feel like everybody's interesting in their own light. Yeah. Yeah. So, what are you most excited for in your life, my friend? Right now, I got 7 more episodes of George Goes Everywhere coming out within hopefully like the next month. Is it all on YouTube? Yeah, it's all on. They upload it to their site, which is millionstories.com, as well as their YouTube channel. But yeah, I got 7 episodes. It went to Phoenix, Denver, Detroit, San Diego, Tucson, Pittsburgh, and Louisville. Did you finish those already? Yeah, they're done. Oh. Edited. They're just working on their graphics and music people are working on them. You don't have to do that. Not the graphics and music. I edit them though. Okay, you edit them. Yeah. How long does it take you to edit one of those videos? Just curious because going back to Casey Neistat. Yeah. Those like 5-minute vlogs that he would do. I think he took like 8 hours, 10 hours a day. Yeah, for sure. 5 minutes. Oh yeah, really? Absolutely. That's he edits quick. I think he's fast. Okay. For me, I spend like 2.5 days probably editing one episode. They're like 7-8 minutes. Okay, can you explain why it takes so long for such a short video? Because there is an immense amount of footage you have to go through, and you have to
like categorize the footage, like a catalog, and write down what each one is.
What do you mean? So like George is eating at this restaurant.
Yeah. For
Okay.
example, like shots at this particular location. It's a shot of me doing this line, and then there's the shots of the intro outside the restaurant.
Yeah.
And you got to go through and find all that, select it, and I do a lot of takes of everything. It's not uncommon for me to do 9 takes of something.
Sure. I feel like that's still not a lot.
Maybe. It feels like a lot when you're standing there and people are watching you.
Yeah.
But then you just go through and then, I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, like you said, we go to 7-8 different locations in an episode.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Editing is a time-consuming process.
Yeah, I need to get better at it. I feel like the podcast is pretty easy. I put my intro, outro, ad in there, and that's it.
And then okay.
Yeah, so I feel like a small video is going to be a lot harder for sure.
Yeah.
Circling back around, I'm really curious. What's your advice on recording in front of people? Because I've done it one time, and is it just doing it more?
I mean, it's doing it more. I mean, you get used to anything.
Because what's your mentality on it? Like obviously in the back of your head, it's this feels weird, but this is for a job.
I mean, that's it. I mean, it's for a job. I mean, sometimes I'll, if I'm next to someone, I just sort of say hey, could you give me 90 seconds here, and then I'll shut up. I promise.
Yeah.
And they are almost always like, oh yeah, don't worry about it, no problem.
Oh, cool.
You just gotta suck it up. It's just.
What do you like about it? Because obviously, you're doing it, so you kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean,
or love it.
It's I love the job. I love going places and exploring places.
You did it before even the job.
Yeah, I mean, well, because I wanted to get the job.
Oh, okay.
It was a means to an end. You just gotta own it,
Yeah.
There's no other way to try to be nice to people around you. Don't be obnoxious.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who do it probably are obnoxious and don't even care.
Yeah.
But
I feel like there's a romance to that too. You're just doing it when they don't care about the whole.
I mean, God bless them. They can just. I wish I could just turn off my brain in that
consciousness.
way. Yeah.
Or your what's it called? Conscience.
Yeah. For self-consciousness. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you love about making people laugh? Why do you like making people laugh?
Well, that's a very deep question. I don't know. I don't know if I can put my finger on it. I think
Really?
It's just something I I felt like I was pretty good at from a young age. I mean, I remember, getting laughs in first grade.
Yeah, just because you're good at it doesn't mean you necessarily enjoy it. But I feel like you really enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I guess it started young. I mean,
what's the feeling that you get when you're like, you made me laugh? That was super funny. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's a power being able to make people laugh. I mean, someone, a stand-up comedian who just is killing and just really has a whole room of people laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really, I think, amazing thing to watch, because that's not easy to do.
Sure.
And so seeing someone do it, it's like, seeing a professional athlete at the top of their game. They're doing something that you're not necessarily supposed to be able to do. I mean, NBA players aren't supposed to be, that good at basketball. They're freaks of nature, you know? And I think you can say the same thing about, a top stand-up comedian.
Yeah. But your lens is a different. So you're doing it through a channel, through it's this video that took you hours to put together, days to put together, tons of takes to put together, and then I'm sure you've had a comment like, dude, that was super funny, I really enjoyed that video. I
mean, yeah, well, that, you're talking about the lens. Editing is a way to get laughs too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can and really get smash cuts. I mean, there's one of the people at the site that I work with. I don't know if you watched the Nashville one.
Yes,
where
I watched that one.
I cut to me in a cowboy hat after saying I wasn't going to have a cowboy hat.
Yes, that was funny.
And it was
That
just like
super
that.
funny.
Just there was one guy over there who was like, "Oh yes, I love that part." And it's like, yeah, no, it's just a cut. It's just an edit.
Yeah.
And got to laugh.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, also cowboy boots are very expensive.
They're crazy expensive.
Did you really realize how expensive they were before you went to the shop?
No, I had no idea actually.
So George has this video of him going to Nashville, and he goes into this. He's like, "I'm gonna play the part," basically, right?
Yeah, I like costumes. I like dressing up a little bit.
Yeah,
when I can.
for content, right?
Yeah.
And he goes into this shop for cowboy boots, and cowboy boots were this one was like what, $1,400.
They were. I mean, I think the cheapest was like $300, but they went up into the $1,500 range. It was nuts.
Yeah.
And so I didn't buy the cowboy boots.
He was like, "Cowboy hat, it is."
Nope. So yeah, got the cowboy hat,
Yeah.
which was fine.
No,
Still have it.
I feel like people could see it because it's on your head.
Yeah.
You don't record your feet, so I feel like
Right.
it turned out pretty good.
It all worked out, yeah, in the end.
So do you vacation at all? Because like I feel like a vacation's like you chill at a place and you enjoy the weather, you do activities, blah blah blah. Like I feel like you've just traveled all over for like short periods of time, got to experience a little bit of the culture. Do you vacation at all?
Short answer, like, kind of no.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a difference between vacation and travel.
Okay.
And
What's the difference? Can you?
Vacation is going to a beach. It's relaxation. Going down to an all-inclusive resort in Cancun.
Yeah.
And hanging out down there. That's
Sure.
vacation.
Okay.
Travel is harder. Travel, you're out of your comfort zone a bit. Like travel's like going to the gym. Like it's supposed to hurt a little. Like if it's not hurting a little bit, you're probably not doing it right.
Doing it right. Okay.
Like that's travel.
Yeah.
And I prefer that over just sitting on a beach.
Why do you prefer that?
Because I just think it's more fun.
Really?
I'm not a beach guy. I don't. I can.
You live in LA.
I
I'm
know.
kidding.
I don't go to the beach here.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't tan?
I don't tan. I do not come from a tan people.
Yeah.
Me and the sun don't get along.
Yeah.
I've never been a.
So why do you stay in LA? Because what you could do is basically you could do it anywhere.
Yes.
And you came to LA with this big. You worked in the movie or TV industry, which you don't do anymore. So why you stay in LA?
It's a good question. I've asked myself that sometimes too. I mean, all my friends are out here. I've been out here 16 years.
Sure.
So I do have some kind of roots here. All my friends are here. But I mean, there's nothing in particular, keeping me.
The one thing that someone asked me that question probably about a year ago. And I couldn't pinpoint it like you just did right now. I was like, I don't know. I'm just out here. I have friends out here. It's cool. And then another friend of mine pointed out and said, this is why I'm out here. And he said, you're out here because people don't judge you for putting a camera in your face or recording a workout. Everyone's creative out here. Everyone has this hustle about it that's like, and you're not really judged for anything. Like, for example, if you're holding a camera in my hometown Fresno right in front of you and you're like, what's up y'all, like we're going to I don't know the Fresno Derby or like whatever, and you're vlogging about it and you're very animated, you're making your audience laugh on camera and be like, yo, what the fuck is this dude doing?
Right.
You do it in LA, it might be a tiny bit of that, but it's way less. It's
Yes.
like the dude's hustling.
Yeah, that's a fair point. People out here, you meet people out here that have not all, but a lot of people who have just lifted up their lives and moved here to pursue something. And you don't get that really anywhere else. Like I go back to Jersey and people say like, wait, you just moved to LA without a job and just did it? And I'm like, yeah, that's really not unusual, actually.
It's
LA's
not.
full of people who did that exact thing.
They do it all the time.
All the time, every day.
It's kind of crazy because I didn't do that, and I know like my girlfriend has a ton of coaches that F45 have, you have, and that's kind of scary. It's super scary.
It is.
And I I admire anyone who stays out here longer than a year because it's hard to stay out here.
Yeah.
Rent's more expensive than my parents' mortgage. You know, like stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's absurd. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are we going next? What's the next spot?
I mean,
besides you already traveled those.
I did those 7 episodes. I've pitched to them Austin, Tampa, and Miami.
Have you gone or no?
To those places?
Yeah.
I've been to Austin and Miami, never
Okay.
Tampa. I haven't shot anything there. Well, I shot something in Austin actually for my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But then, San Francisco, Vegas,
Okay.
Portland, Seattle, we have to dance around mask mandates a little bit.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna lift off anytime soon? Because like California mostly is besides LA. You know.
I mean, hopefully the next couple months. But like for my purposes, I can't shoot in a mask. I can't talk to camera while wearing a mask.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
It kind of
really work.
ruins. The
It ruins it.
concept.
It severs the connection with the audience, and so I've had to go to cities that don't
really?
have mask mandates.
Are all the cities that you went to have no mask mandates?
Yeah, when I went there, they didn't. There was one spot in Pittsburgh. They let us in early, and they told us I wouldn't have to wear a mask. And when we showed up, they said actually you have to wear a mask, and I had to get creative. And just my fuel producer shot me from behind, and I just wrote up what I was going to say, and I recorded it outside, and just sort of cut and around it, and had to get a little
I didn't
creative.
Even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge barrier.
It's a barrier. That's why I've been to Louisville, but not San Francisco or L.A.
Yeah.
You know, San Diego didn't have one, so I was able to do it down there.
You could definitely do it out here. No?
If you're going to be
sit down.
indoors,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what it is at this point.
If you were gonna do one in LA, what would be what's some of the landmarks that you would do? Because this is your home.
This is my
You
home.
know probably more places in this city than any other city in the entire world, maybe besides Newark or New Jersey. So.
Yeah. There's a couple. There's down in Koreatown, there's a prison-themed bar.
What's it called?
Called Prison, Prizon.
Okay.
And it's like legit, like the tables are in cells. It is a kind of a bonkers place.
That is
And
crazy.
it's down.
What is in cells?
the tables where you sit?
They're in actual cells.
Did
it used to be a prison?
No, it didn't used to be. It's in a
Okay.
strip mall,
Got
but
it.
it's they really commit to the theme.
Sure.
And
That's cool.
so I'd want to go to because Koreatown is also such a big area in LA.
I didn't realize how big it was. I went there for Korean barbecue probably 3 weeks ago now, and I couldn't find parking. Every restaurant was packed.
Yeah.
It was filled. It was crazy. It's a huge part of LA.
Yeah. So go there, drink some soju. Did you have
Soju's
soju?
fire.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's a time and place for everything.
Yeah, sure.
So all these places that you travel to, you mostly have like a drink. Like you end up being at some bar.
I try to include food and drink in every episode.
Okay, so what is the most tastiest food or the most bizarre drink or the most tasteful drink that you ever had? Traveling.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you the complete opposite answer of
Okay.
the drink one. No, I'll do the opposite. But I got to mention Malort. Have you heard of Jepson's Malort?
Is that a place?
No, it's a drink.
Jepson's?
Jepson's Malort.
Malort.
Molort.
I have not.
It is the grossest drink you will ever have in your life.
Is it the one that you took a shot of?
It's in Chicago, yeah.
The shot that you were like, one out of every 100 people.
One out of 100 people actually like it.
Okay.
And
What does it taste like? It's the one that you took a shot in the beginning and at the end,
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
In Chicago, it's a big Chicago thing. Go to every bar in Chicago has it behind the bar. You can see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Every bar?
Pretty much that I saw.
Okay.
It's everywhere.
Is it expensive?
No, it's
Okay.
a normal shot. It's like
What base is it?
it's some like wood or something, some like sandalwood or something, or it's. But like they market it as being awful. Like that's its claim to fame is how bad it is.
Okay.
And so I heard that. I'm like, oh, I gotta have it. I gotta try it.
Was it that bad?
It's really bad. It's really bad.
Because there's some I don't know, you take a shot at Everclear, is it worse than like an Everclear?
I'd say so.
Really?
Yeah, because it's Everclear. I've never done a straight shot of Everclear, but Everclear is just burn. It's alcohol.
Yeah, just burn. It's
just-
basically like it tastes like rubbing alcohol. Like, per se. It's just alcohol. It burns all the way down and it's done.
It's just, that burn, that alcohol burn. But Malort, it has that, as every shot does, but it just has a taste that just, oof. I mean, I don't regret doing it. And if I was in Chicago, I would do it again.
The thing is, you could say you did it. But is it probably the worst thing that you ever tasted? Like, drink-wise?
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, it's really bad.
Right,
but it's a Chicago thing. Like, it's, the kind of thing so it's like a celebratory thing almost.
Sure.
Like, it's like a rite of passage.
Yeah. Have you had Fernet before?
No.
So Fernet's like basically it's a aperitif for an Amaro. It's similar to like bitters. It's very herbal.
Okay.
But it's basically bartender's passage. Like every bartender has a shot of Fernet before they become a bartender type of thing.
Okay.
Similar.
Yeah.
So what's your best drink that you had anywhere? Like, do you do cocktails? I feel like you're just a shots and beer type of guy.
I do whatever is, I try to do stuff that's maybe unique to that place or to that city or to the location.
So is that back to the research thing? You're like,
just like find a cool bar and then what's their specialty.
Sure.
It's not about what I necessarily want, but it's about what their specialty is.
Sure.
And so like, that's why I think I had sangria in Atlanta because that was just.
How did you like your sangria?
I liked it.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was basically just sugar wine with fruit in it.
Yeah, it was fine. But sure, wine, sugar, why not? Yeah. What else did I do? Like, I went to a super dive bar in Nashville called Santa's Pub, which it's like basically like a trailer in a parking lot.
Yeah.
It's dive in all the best ways.
Cool. What about food? You've had some pretty good food.
I've had some very good food. They all blend together. All the episodes. I shot them like 2 years ago now.
What's it called? You had Ritz, like some barbecue grits.
I had grit. Yeah, I had
grits.
shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits.
How
was that?
In Atlanta, that was
that's big over there.
Typical Southern.
Gumbo and grits.
Absolutely.
Are good over there.
I had in New Orleans. What was what the heck was the word for it? Not etouffee, not gumbo.
Grits, no?
Grits? No, it was I don't know. I forget the term. But that was also amazing. The food in New Orleans is always amazing. The Philly taco, though. I don't know if you saw the Philadelphia episode.
I have not. So what's a Philly taco?
Philly taco is a cheesesteak wrapped in a slice of pizza.
Wait, a cheesesteak? So no bread?
No, the full cheesesteak.
So a full cheesesteak sandwich?
Yeah.
Inside a slice of...
And just you wrap a slice of pizza around it.
Sounds like a heart attack.
It was amazing, though. It was better than the sum of its parts.
The what parts?
It was better than the sum of its parts.
Oh, better than one or the other.
Yeah. I thought it would just be like kind of stupid, but it was really awesome.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
If you had it, so say all these people watch your episodes and they're just like, or like hear about it. What city would you recommend like the most? Like, what's a city that like I'm gonna go for a few days, check everything out, like, and it's definitely something that you need to go see. Because like I know you went to Chicago and saw the baseball game too by was that Fenway?
No, it was Wrigley.
Wrigley, sorry.
Yeah, I went to the
apologies.
Wrigley rooftops.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do that after watching that video.
That is so awesome. I had done that before, so that's why I knew it was going to be awesome.
Okay.
It's all you can eat, all you can drink.
Yeah.
They're like $70 for the tickets.
That's not bad.
Really not for what you're getting.
Yeah.
And it's just a completely unique way to watch a sporting event.
I know. Yeah. So like amazing. I'm gonna go to Chicago and do that because like that sounds super cool. But back to my point is like, what's a bucket list for people that they need to go see or need to travel to? Like,
I mean, it's got to be New York. I think
New York.
I mean, again, I'm biased towards
slightly.
New York.
No.
Just a little bit. I don't know if you can tell.
A little bit.
But and if you're looking for a small, if you go to Chicago, Milwaukee's only a 90-minute train ride.
From here?
From Chicago.
Oh, from Chicago. Like, that's not right.
Yeah, no. You can make a day trip to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And I think it's an underrated city, and everyone there was super nice.
It's weird how people are known for their people. I mean, sorry, states are known for their people. Like, so Milwaukee's known for nice people. I don't know. I just know from what you told me. But basically, like, LA's not known for the nicest people.
Not especially, no.
Yeah, it's weird how society, or like, I guess, like people are different in different places.
Yeah, it's the Midwest is known for hospitality, and that's when I thought Chicago, because we shoot 3 episodes at a time, and so we did Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, and that batch of cities was a pleasure because everyone was accommodating and said yes to us, and that's what the Milwaukee episode is the longest episode because everyone said yes to us. We had like some backups. We usually like get backups in case places fall through.
And everyone was like, yeah, of course.
Everyone in Milwaukee's like, yeah, come on by. And so I was like, all right. And,
Nice.
Same, likewise in Minneapolis, everyone, and that's part of that episode. I talk about Minnesota nice. I don't know if you ever heard that term.
No.
It's just,
people in Minnesota are nice.
People in Minnesota are known for being nice.
Yeah.
And
I guess like the opposite of it. What's the worst experience you've had traveling? Because like you've had plenty of good ones. There has to be a bad one in there.
I mean, for this show?
The show or in general.
This show, I'll admit, New Orleans was a challenge.
Okay. So, like, how so? Like,
people were not very interested in working with us.
Yeah.
At New Orleans and probably Dallas, a lot of people said no to us when we reached out to them. In Dallas, I think like our top 5 places that we wanted to go to all said no to us.
Yeah.
And we just had to keep kind of going down the list. And that made it very, very frustrating.
Is that why, like, I guess for Dallas, it was like only half the $100?
Probably.
It's like
that's
$55.
That's the shortest episode because, like, at a certain point, it's like no one's saying yes to us here. We can't just do these things without permission. We got to go by the book here. And
why can't you do it without permission?
Because it's for my YouTube channel, I could.
Sure.
But for this company that I'm working for,
it's by the book.
They're by the book. There are lawyers involved. There are location releases. It's adds a layer of complexity.
Dang. So like, have you had any like bad experience at all where they're like, I don't know, someone throw a beer on you or I don't know, get mad, someone's yelling?
No. I mean,
that's a good thing.
Yeah. No, never gotten anyone angry. I had some people. People are worried that you're shooting them, which I'm never doing.
Yes.
We've had people. Something from my YouTube channel. I had a guy follow me in his car once because he thought I was
filming him.
Yeah, because it was near I wasn't shooting them, but I was maybe a block away from like a homeless encampment, and they thought I was doing something regarding them, which I wasn't.
Yeah.
And as I was leaving, a guy, I don't know who he was, but he started following me for a few blocks, and then
did you dip? Did you drive fast?
I kind of made a quick turn.
Yeah.
And he gave up, but so like that, it's usually based on that people thinking that you're shooting them, which I'm never doing. Just maybe 2 months ago in Louisville, I was shooting outside a restaurant, and a guy who was sitting outside the restaurant came up to me while I was shooting, and he gave me $20, and he says, "Here, I don't want to be on camera." And I'm like, he wasn't. I mean, I was across the street. He wasn't on camera, and I don't do that. I don't put people on camera without their consent.
Yeah.
And I would need a release for that anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you're not. You can keep the money.
You're not on camera.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't do that. Yeah. He's like, no, take the money. I just don't want to be on camera. And so I took the money and he walked away. I still have it. I still have his 20.
That's funny. It's so weird because so many people just like want to be noticed and be on camera, and then there's also so many people who just like, I never want to see any lens in my entire life type of deal. It
varies by age, I've noticed.
Do you think so? Like younger and older? Younger people want to be on camera?
Younger want to be on camera. Whenever like teenagers are always like, "Hey, are you a YouTuber? What are you doing?" And they try to jump in and be in the background.
Yeah.
Which for this show I can't use that. But
is it just supposed to be you?
Yeah. I mean, I just for release purposes I can't. Especially kids. You
need to like sign.
You need signed releases and stuff like that. So if they're jumping around in the background, I can't use it unfortunately. But that's been my experience. The older people are like, no, stay away.
Yeah. Is there any like really good conversations with people that you've had traveling all over that you're like, oh, I'm so glad I met you? Like for the example, that art guy, Dr.
Bob.
Dr. Bob, like he seemed like a cool guy.
Yeah, he was a character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to, like, I'm not going to sit here and, say that, that experience changed my life in
Sure.
some profound way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like meeting different people, just having different experiences. That's what kind of travel is.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, George,
Igoe.
let's have more experiences, my friend. Where can everyone find you? On YouTube at George Igoe?
Yeah, my YouTube channel is George Igoe.
And where is the George Goes Everywhere?
That is on millionstories.com.
Millionstories.com.
It's free. You don't have to sign up for anything. There's no
Sweet.
hoops. It's also on YouTube. If you search it there, it's
Cool.
linked all on my YouTube channel.
Awesome.
Pretty easy to find.
Until next traveling.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming, baby. All right. Peace. Thanks, guys.